Stop scrolling for a moment because something extremely rare just happened in the sky today. After 4 long months of silence, Jupiter, the most powerful planet of luck and expansion, has finally awakened, and what this means for your life in the next few weeks might completely surprise you. The moment you are hearing this message is not random. Something powerful has just shifted in the sky, and for the first time in 4 long months, the giant planet Jupiter has finally awakened. For months, Jupiter appeared to be moving backward through the sky in what astrologers call retrograde motion. During that time, many people felt stuck, confused about their direction, questioning decisions, and wondering why progress seemed slower than expected. Opportunities that once looked promising suddenly paused. Plans stalled, confidence wavered, but today that energy changes. Today Jupiter wakes up, and with that awakening, a new wave of momentum begins to move through the universe. Jupiter is not just any planet in astrology. It is the planet of growth, expansion, wisdom, opportunity, and blessings. When Jupiter moves forward, doors open that were once invisible. The things that felt blocked suddenly start moving again. Conversations that went nowhere begin to make sense. Paths that seemed impossible suddenly reveal a way forward. And what makes this moment even more powerful is that Jupiter has been quietly working beneath the surface during these past 4 months. Retrograde periods are not punishments. They are preparation. While Jupiter appeared to move backward, it was actually asking everyone to rethink their beliefs, review their goals, and reconnect with what truly matters. Many people were forced to slow down and examine their life choices more deeply. Some realized they had been chasing things that did not truly fulfill them. Others discovered hidden talents or new directions they had never considered before. And some people simply learned patience, something Jupiter always rewards. But now the review phase is ending. The energy that was once turned inward is beginning to move outward again. Think of it like a giant cosmic engine restarting after months of quiet preparation. The power that Jupiter represents is now pushing forward again, and that push can create sudden changes in life. Opportunities that seem delayed may appear suddenly. Messages may arrive that change plans. New ideas may feel stronger and clearer than they did before. Many people will feel a subtle shift in their motivation, as if something inside them is saying it is finally time to move. What nobody is talking about is that Jupiter waking up does not just bring luck, it also reveals truth. During the retrograde phase, illusions and false beliefs often begin to crumble slowly, but when Jupiter goes direct again, clarity arrives. Situations that felt confusing suddenly make sense. Relationships reveal their true direction. Some people realize they have outgrown certain environments or friendships. Others suddenly understand why certain delays happened in the first place. Jupiter's wisdom is not loud, but it is powerful. It expands whatever it touches, and right now it is expanding awareness. This moment can also bring a powerful shift in confidence. Over the past months, many people questioned their abilities. Self-doubt crept in quietly. But Jupiter's forward motion reignites belief in possibility. It reminds people that growth often requires patience first. The universe does not rush transformation. Instead, it prepares you quietly until the moment arrives when movement becomes unstoppable. That moment is beginning now. For some people, this shift will show up through opportunities connected to learning, travel, or personal development. Jupiter rules knowledge and exploration, so when it wakes up, it often pushes people toward new experiences that expand their worldview. A new idea might appear that changes someone's career path. A chance to travel or connect with people from different backgrounds may open doors that lead to something much bigger later. Even a simple conversation can become the spark that leads to unexpected success. For others, the shift will feel emotional rather than external. Jupiter also governs inner wisdom. When its energy moves forward, many people suddenly feel clearer about their purpose. Questions that once felt overwhelming begin to resolve naturally. It becomes easier to trust intuition. Decisions that once felt impossible suddenly feel obvious. It is as if a fog slowly lifts and the path ahead becomes visible again. There is another hidden layer to this moment that few people mention. When Jupiter ends a retrograde cycle, it often activates events that were quietly forming during the past months. Seeds planted earlier may begin to grow quickly now. Efforts that seemed unnoticed may finally receive recognition. Situations that felt stagnant might suddenly accelerate faster than expected. This is why some astrologers describe Jupiter's direct motion as the universe pressing the green light after a long pause. But not everyone will experience this change in the same way. Jupiter expands whatever energy already exists in a person's life. If someone has been working patiently toward a goal, the momentum may increase dramatically now. If someone has been ignoring important truths, those truths may become impossible to avoid. Jupiter magnifies growth, but growth sometimes means facing reality before moving forward. This is why awareness is important during this period. The universe may present choices that shape the next chapter of life. Some people will feel called to take risks they were previously afraid of. Others will realize they must release something that has been holding them back. Jupiter's energy is generous, but it also asks people to align with honesty and integrity. When those qualities are present, its blessings tend to multiply. Many astrologers believe that the days immediately after Jupiter goes direct are particularly powerful. Energy builds quickly, like a river that has finally broken through a dam. Ideas flow faster. Inspiration returns. Motivation rises. Even small actions taken during this window can lead to larger opportunities later. It is a time when paying attention to signs, conversations, and new possibilities can make a huge difference. Some people watching this video may already feel that something subtle has shifted today. Maybe a sense of relief has appeared for no clear reason. Maybe a new idea has suddenly felt exciting again. Maybe a situation that seemed stuck is finally beginning to move. These small signals are often how cosmic changes first appear in everyday life. What makes this Jupiter awakening even more fascinating is the timing. The world itself is going through rapid transformation, and Jupiter's role in astrology has always been to expand collective awareness. When it moves forward, after a long review period, society often experiences breakthroughs in ideas, innovation, and global conversations. What seemed impossible yesterday can suddenly become the focus of tomorrow. So if life felt slower during the past 4 months, that does not mean you are falling behind. In many cases, it means you are being prepared for the next stage of growth. The universe often slows things down before it speeds them up again. Jupiter's awakening is the moment when preparation begins turning into action. And here is the most important thing to remember. Jupiter does not simply bring opportunities, it amplifies belief. The way you see yourself and your future becomes incredibly powerful during this period. When belief expands, possibilities expand with it. This is why many people feel a surge of optimism when Jupiter moves forward again. The future begins to feel larger than it did before, so pay attention to the subtle shifts happening around you right now. Notice the conversations, the ideas, the sudden feelings of motivation that appear over the next days. The universe may be opening doors quietly at first, but those doors can lead to transformations that last for years. Jupiter has awakened, and with that awakening, the cosmic energy of expansion is moving again. The question now is not whether opportunities will appear, but whether you will recognize them when they arrive. As Jupiter begins to move forward again, something subtle but powerful starts unfolding beneath the surface of everyday life. Many people expect sudden miracles or dramatic events when a planet like Jupiter changes direction, but the real transformation often begins quietly. It starts as a feeling, a shift in the atmosphere of your life that is difficult to explain but impossible to ignore. It might feel like a sense of momentum returning after a long pause. Ideas that once felt uncertain begin to feel stronger. Decisions that once caused hesitation begin to feel clearer. During the months when Jupiter was retrograde, the universe was asking people to slow down and reflect. It was a time of internal growth rather than external expansion. Some people revisited old dreams they had forgotten about. Others realized that certain goals they had been chasing were not truly aligned with their purpose anymore. Retrograde energy has a way of pulling attention inward so that deeper truths can surface. But now that Jupiter has awakened, that internal work begins to translate into real movement in the outside world. You may notice that situations which felt stuck suddenly begin to shift. Messages that never came might finally arrive. Opportunities that seemed delayed may appear when you least expect them. Jupiter has a way of opening doors that were invisible before, and sometimes those doors appear in the most ordinary moments. A simple conversation, a new connection, or a random idea could become the starting point for something much bigger. But here is something most people do not realize about Jupiter's energy. It does not force change. Instead, it magnifies the direction you are already moving in. If you have been working toward growth, learning, and positive transformation, Jupiter's forward motion can amplify those efforts in ways that feel almost magical. But if someone has been ignoring important lessons, Jupiter's light can also expose what needs to change before progress can happen. This is why awareness becomes so important during this time. The universe may begin presenting signs that guide you toward the next chapter of your life. These signs may not always be dramatic. Sometimes they appear as repeating numbers, unexpected conversations, sudden inspiration, or a deep inner feeling that something new is calling you forward. Over the next days and weeks, many people will experience a powerful return of motivation, Projects that were abandoned might suddenly feel exciting again. Plans that seemed unrealistic might now feel possible. Jupiter is the planet of faith and belief. And when it moves forward, it reminds people that the future is not fixed. It is constantly expanding, just like the universe itself. Some individuals will feel this shift in their personal relationships. Jupiter often reveals who truly supports your growth and who may be holding you back. You might notice that certain connections become stronger while others quietly fade away. This is not something to fear. It is part of the natural expansion process. As your path grows larger, the people who walk beside you must align with that direction. Others may experience the change through new knowledge or learning opportunities. Jupiter governs wisdom, education, and higher understanding. Many people suddenly feel the urge to study something new, explore spiritual ideas, or gain skills that can open future doors. What feels like curiosity today could become a life-changing path tomorrow. Financial energy can also begin shifting when Jupiter moves forward. The planet is often associated with abundance and prosperity, but that abundance rarely appears randomly. It tends to follow courage, action, and belief. When someone decides to take a step toward a bigger vision, Jupiter's energy can expand that step into something far greater than expected. But perhaps the most powerful transformation during this time happens inside the mind. When Jupiter awakens, it expands perspective. Problems that once looked enormous may suddenly appear smaller. New solutions appear where none existed before. The mind begins to see opportunities instead of obstacles. And when perception changes, reality often follows. There is also something mysterious about the timing of Jupiter's movements. Throughout history, moments when Jupiter shifts direction have often coincided with breakthroughs in human understanding. New discoveries, bold ideas, and important turning points tend to emerge when this planet's energy begins flowing forward again. It is almost as if the universe itself encourages expansion during these windows of time. For you personally, the most important thing right now is to stay open to possibility. The next few weeks could bring unexpected chances to grow, travel, learn, or connect with people who influence your future. Sometimes these opportunities arrive quietly at first, disguised as small decisions or simple invitations. But those small moments can lead to enormous changes later. And there is one more thing many astrologers rarely mention. When Jupiter wakes up after a retrograde period, the first steps you take can set the tone for the entire cycle ahead. The actions you choose now, the beliefs you strengthen now, and the goals you focus on now can expand for months or even years. So, if there has been a dream sitting quietly in your mind, if there has been an idea you were afraid to pursue, if there has been a direction calling you forward but you kept hesitating, this might be the moment when the universe is encouraging you to move. Jupiter does not whisper forever. When it wakes up, it invites movement, courage, and vision. It reminds people that growth is not something that happens someday in the distant future. Growth begins the moment someone decides to step toward a bigger life. Right now, somewhere in the world, countless people are feeling this shift without even realizing what caused it. They feel more hopeful, more inspired, more ready to take action than they did just days ago. That is the quiet power of Jupiter moving forward again. And as this cosmic shift continues to unfold, something even deeper begins happening beneath the surface of everyday life. Jupiter's awakening is not only about opportunity or expansion, it is also about timing. The universe moves in cycles, and certain moments act like turning points where the direction of energy changes dramatically. When Jupiter wakes up after months of retrograde motion, it is like a massive door in the sky, slowly opening again. During the retrograde months, many people felt like they were walking through fog. Plans did not unfold the way they expected. Certain goals seemed further away than they once appeared. Some even questioned whether they were on the right path at all. But retrograde energy often works like a teacher rather than an obstacle. It forces people to pause, rethink, and rebuild their inner foundation. And once that inner work is complete, Jupiter moving forward becomes the signal that it is time to apply everything that was learned. Now the energy begins accelerating. Over the next days and weeks, people may start noticing strange coincidences and unexpected alignments. The right person might appear at the right moment. A conversation might suddenly lead to an opportunity. An idea that seemed unrealistic months ago might now begin forming into a real plan. These are the subtle ways Jupiter's influence works. It expands possibilities that were quietly forming during the retrograde period. But there is another side to this shift that very few people talk about. When Jupiter moves forward, it does not just bring new chances, it also magnifies truth. Situations that were unclear may suddenly reveal their real nature. If something in your life was built on uncertainty, confusion, or illusion, Jupiter's forward energy may shine a bright light on it. That light is not meant to harm you, it is meant to free you. This is why some people experience powerful realizations during this time. They suddenly understand why certain events happened earlier in the year. They recognize patterns they had been repeating for years. They see clearly which direction truly aligns with their future and which paths no longer belong in their life story. For many people watching this, the shift may appear first as a feeling, a quiet sense that something is changing. Maybe you feel more hopeful than you did a few weeks ago. Maybe you feel motivated to take action again after a long period of hesitation. Maybe a new vision for your future is starting to form in your mind. Jupiter is the planet of vision. It expands the way we imagine our future. When it wakes up, it reminds us that life is not meant to remain small or stagnant. It pushes people to think bigger, dream bigger, and believe that growth is always possible no matter where they currently stand. This is also why many spiritual teachers say that Jupiter's direct motion can trigger what feels like a personal awakening. The mind becomes more open, ideas become clearer, you start noticing opportunities that you previously ignored. And once you notice them, it becomes very difficult to go back to the old way of thinking. Some people will feel this shift through their ambitions. A project they once doubted may suddenly feel achievable again. A career path that seemed blocked may open unexpectedly. Even financial energy can begin shifting because Jupiter is strongly connected with prosperity and abundance. But abundance often follows courage. The universe tends to expand whatever you are brave enough to pursue. Other people will feel the shift in their relationships. Jupiter's wisdom encourages growth, and sometimes growth requires surrounding yourself with people who inspire your highest potential. You may notice certain friendships becoming stronger, while others slowly drift away. That is not loss. That is alignment. And then there are those who will feel this shift internally through a deeper sense of purpose. Suddenly they feel called to learn, explore, teach, or share knowledge in ways they never considered before. Jupiter governs higher wisdom, philosophy, and spiritual understanding. When its energy moves forward, many people begin searching for meaning beyond ordinary routines. But perhaps the most powerful message of this moment is simple. The universe has restarted the flow of expansion. The pause is over, the review phase has ended. The energy that once asked you to slow down is now asking you to move. That does not mean everything will happen instantly. Jupiter's gifts often unfold step by step. But the direction of movement has changed. Momentum is building again, and that momentum can carry people much further than they expect. And yet, even as Jupiter begins moving forward again, the story of this cosmic shift is still unfolding. The awakening of Jupiter is not a single moment that passes quickly. It is the beginning of a wave of energy that slowly spreads through the weeks and months ahead. Just like a stone dropped into a calm lake creates ripples that travel far beyond the point of impact, Jupiter's direct motion sends ripples of expansion through every part of life. The interesting thing about Jupiter is that its influence is rarely small. When this planet moves, it moves with purpose. It governs growth, possibility, wisdom, and the courage to see life on a larger scale. So when it awakens after months of reflection, it begins pushing people toward experiences that stretch their understanding of what is possible. Many people will begin noticing subtle but meaningful changes in their daily lives. It might start with a sudden idea that feels too important to ignore, a thought that keeps returning again and again, asking for attention. Or maybe it appears as a chance meeting with someone who introduces a new perspective. Jupiter has a mysterious way of placing people and opportunities on your path exactly when you are ready for them. For some individuals, the shift will feel like a release of pressure. During the retrograde months, there may have been situations that felt heavy or uncertain. Decisions seemed difficult and progress felt slow. But when Jupiter moves forward again, that weight often begins to lift. The mind becomes clearer. The future begins to feel open again rather than restricted. But the most fascinating part of this moment is that Jupiter's energy does not simply affect individuals. It influences the collective energy of the entire world. Throughout history, many breakthroughs in knowledge, exploration, and innovation have appeared when Jupiter's cycles shifted. It encourages humanity to look beyond limitations and search for greater understanding. This is why the period following Jupiter's awakening often brings waves of inspiration. New ideas begin forming in the minds of creators, thinkers, and visionaries. Conversations that once seemed impossible suddenly begin happening. The energy of growth spreads quietly, pushing society forward in ways that are sometimes only recognized later. On a personal level, this is the time when the lessons of the past 4 months begin transforming into action. Think about what the retrograde period taught you. Maybe you learned patience. Maybe you realized which goals truly matter to you. Maybe you discovered that your path was different from what you originally imagined. All of those realizations were not random. They were preparation. Now Jupiter is asking a new question. What will you do with the wisdom you gained? Because growth only becomes real when it moves from thought into action. Dreams become reality only when someone decides to step toward them. And Jupiter's forward motion brings powerful support to those who are willing to take that step. The coming weeks may present opportunities that feel slightly outside your comfort zone. That is often how Jupiter works. It invites people to expand beyond what they once believed they were capable of. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs appear disguised as small chances that require courage. You might feel called to start something new, to share an idea you once kept to yourself, to explore a place, a skill, or a passion that has been quietly waiting in the background of your life. When Jupiter's energy flows forward, the universe often rewards boldness and curiosity. There will also be moments when intuition becomes stronger than usual. Jupiter is deeply connected with inner wisdom. When it awakens, many people begin noticing that their instincts guide them more clearly. You may suddenly know when a situation feels right or wrong without needing long explanations. Trusting that inner voice becomes extremely important during this time. The universe often communicates through subtle feelings before obvious events appear. A sense of excitement about a certain idea may be the first signal that it is aligned with your path. A feeling of resistance might be a sign that something no longer belongs in your journey. Another fascinating effect of Jupiter moving forward is the return of optimism. Over the past months, some people may have felt uncertain about the future. The world itself has been moving through rapid changes, and it is easy to lose sight of long-term possibilities during uncertain times. But Jupiter reminds us that growth is always part of the universal design. The universe itself is constantly expanding, and human life reflects that same principle. Even after periods of difficulty, new opportunities always begin forming somewhere beyond the horizon. That is the deeper message behind Jupiter waking up today. It is not only about astrology or planetary motion, it is about the reminder that life moves in cycles of reflection and expansion. First, we pause to understand ourselves, then we move forward with greater clarity. Right now, that forward movement has begun again. Somewhere in the near future, a moment will arrive when you look back at this time and realize that this was the turning point. The moment when things slowly began shifting in a new direction, the moment when possibilities returned after a long pause. And the most powerful part is that this transformation does not require perfection. It only requires awareness and willingness. The universe does not expect you to know every step of the path ahead. It only asks that you remain open to growth and ready to move when opportunity appears. So as Jupiter continues its journey across the sky, pay attention to the signs unfolding around you. Notice the new ideas entering your mind. Notice the doors opening that were once closed. Notice the subtle feeling that life is beginning to move again, because this awakening in the sky is also an awakening within you. The giant planet has shifted direction, and with it the energy of expansion has returned. And if the universe brought you to this message at this exact moment, perhaps it is because something in your own life is about to expand in ways you never expected. If this message found you today, it might not be random. The universe has a strange way of sending signs exactly when we need them. So comment the word Jupiter below if you feel this energy shift in your life, and let's see how many people are experiencing this transformation together.